So much for tuning in. As I mentioned, doing a Dazzle gel paste demo. For those of you who watch videos from the NAMTA show, we did post a video. I think her name was Christy, but I could, oh, it was Christy, Linda says. Christy did a demo for us, and there is a video kicking around. I re-uploaded it on our Facebook page, so you can watch that one as well. Clearly, mine will be much more interesting, but, you know, it's always good to get different perspective on different types of product. So, Dazzle Paste, as I mentioned, Lisa Horton Crafts makes it. It is sparkly. There's nice and, it's like a gel, a stencil paste. It says it's glossy and glittery texture gel. And the colors are, these are the ones I purchased. There are 4 colors I did not purchase yet. This is honeycomb. And just ignore that because we've been using it. So that's honeycomb. And I do have samples, like real life samples. Here's raspberry. Tanya, you get an A in the demo. Sea foam. I think this one's going to sell out probably because teals sell the best. I've showed you purple fizz. We've got lemon fizz. She likes fizzy things. So purple fizz, lemon fizz. This is fantasy. And I don't know how well the camera's going to pick it up. It is clear. It is... actually, Linda, can you grab me just from the recycle bin, a piece of pattern paper? I'll demo that too. Might be a long demo. Just want to show how it's see-through. No, that's fine. Has 2 pieces on it, apparently. We need that back then. Okay. Sorry, that is just getting this demo going on the fly here. So this is fantasy. There is another white, or looks white in the bottle. That's cracked ice. So this one is much more opaque than fantasy. You can see fantasy has kind of a purplish tone, whereas the cracked ice is more white from what I've seen. I haven't played with it myself, but it looks quite white. Spearmint. Hold that down. Ginger biscuit. I thought about getting ginger biscuit. This is my kind of color. It's kind of a coppery color, as you can see. Little ginger biscuit. And there's 2 pinks. There's raspberry and there's bubblegum. Bubblegum here is in my right hand. Raspberry is in my left. So those are the 10 colors. They're $12.79. And I'm going to just do some quick demos for you, just so you can kind of learn what it's all about. And I'm going to get these colors out of the road. Oops. Well, I need them handy. What I'm first going to show you is, here's fantasy. This is just some pattern paper. I was doing a bit of a clean out. And for some reason, I felt the need to hoard this paper for, I don't know, 7-8 years, you know. You know how it is. So there is fantasy in the bottle. I just want to show you how see-through, translucent it is. So the gel paste, kind of gelish, as you can see. But I just picking some up with my palette knife. And you can put it over top of pattern paper. This is going to take probably, I don't even know if you can see it. Yeah, you can kind of see it. So it will be glittery. You can still see the pattern through it. Probably this will take about 2 hours to dry, give or take. Just going to clean off my palette knife here. So that is the fantasy color on pattern paper. And next, one thing I would recommend, Lisa Horton and all her design team people these all come with a silver, like a foil coating on them. They say to keep the foil coating on and just flip it back and use it and then put it back down. I found that a big pain in the behind, so I've ripped mine off and we are going to do a field trip today, Linda and I, to get press and seal. So just to keep the paste wet longer. But I found that leaving the foil on was it was messy and a pain in the butt. So there's Fantasy on pattern paper. So that is a way to jazz up your pattern paper. I'm going to just pop that way to the side because it's wet. Here is Fantasy on white paper. Again, yeah, it's not bad. It's still wet. We just did it. So, pretty. Tanya, it's time to use that paper up. So I had a whole bunch of cut pieces. I think I was trying to make a mini album. I don't even know what I was doing, but it is now in recycle. So that is Fantasy on white. Next, and I will show you how I did this. This here is a stencil from Lawn Fawn. It is called Daisy Bloom Background. It is a 3-piece stencil here. And the first thing I did for this sample was I used this stencil here, popped it down. I took my Wild Honey Distress ink. It's kind of an orangey yellow kind of color. And I ran it through the stencil. Then I took my Fantasy paste, left the stencil in place, took my Fantasy paste and put it over top. And keep in mind, at this point, I didn't have my middles in. But I got this kind of look just by putting it over top of a Distress. It would work with any ink, but Distress Wild Honey just popped into my hand first. So we got that. Again, that was Fantasy. So I'm going to show you one of the cool things with this paste is it looks really great on black. So I'm going to show you how I have a few more samples to show you how I did that Wild Honey one, but I'm going to do it with I'm going to do it on black, and I'm going to do it without the Distress ink underneath. So we're using Fantasy again, which is that whitish one, but it's the more translucent one. I did not bring a sticky mat, so I'm just going to stick this to my Imagine Craft mat. Popping this little fella on using my Spellbinder yellow tape to hold my stencil in place. And so this is an A2 panel. And I just usually do just one side. Like so, just like that. Grab my Fantasy paste, and I'm going to show you how cool it looks on dark paper. So when you're using a stencil paste, try and put the stencil paste on the back side of your knife. It's hard to get it off on this side. So there we are. You need a lot. I'm going to need more than this. Pop that like so. And I'm actually going to use my butter spreader because this is a big panel. The butter spreader makes things much easier. So I use my palette knife to scoop some out because the butter spreader doesn't fit well into the container. You can hear the crunchy goodness. That's the glitter. Okay, I need a bit more. Get some over there. Take some over there. Oops. Okay. So I'm going to just for speediness sake, just fix up that little fella down there. I'll put my extra in the bottle. And these stencils clean up really well with this Dazzle paste. I was just running the stencils to the bathroom. I've got lime scrubby soap in my bathroom, and that's what we just scrub our stencil with. So
I love that stuff.
So there we are. That is Fantasy on dark. Bet you wouldn't have guessed that. Okay, I'm just going to run this to the bathroom. And, oh, okay. My trusty assistant is running it to the bathroom for me. I'm going to carefully lift this. This is going to take about 2 hours to dry. And then I can do my centers with ink. I could do my centers with another color stencil. Or sorry, Dazzle paste or stencil butter. But that is the Fantasy on dark paper. And you saw it on pattern paper. So putting it in my drying zone. I'm just going to clean up this space so I don't stick my hand in it. Oops. I'm going to get a new baby wipe because I'm making a mess. Okay, so that's a really quick, simple way to use the Dazzle paste. Any color would work. I just thought I'd show you the Fantasy one because it looked really cool. Oh, I'm going to wipe up my butter spreader so it's not mucky next time I use it. Okay, thank you, trusty assistant. Okay, next thing we're going to do is, this is a Lisa Horton embossing folder. This is from the Year in Blooms set that we do have in stock. So embossed it on black. This is the Dahlia one. And I'm going to use, we'll move away from Fantasy, even though it's very cool. Let's use some lemon fizz. Just going to use my finger. Oh, this one still has the foil on it. As I say, the foil is kind of a pain in the behind. Just putting a little on my finger, and you can rub it carefully onto your embossed images. And because it looks really good on dark, it really highlights your embossed images. Doesn't make the scratchy sound. Sorry, Tanya. And again, this application probably will just take a few minutes to dry. The stencil application, probably a couple of hours. But because this is very thin, it should dry pretty quickly. So that is Lemon Fizz on dark with an embossing folder. And I'll hold it up again because hard to see on the camera. But
that is really pretty.
That is another thing you can do with Dazzle paste. I'm going to clean off my finger. And again, that should dry pretty quick because it's very thin. Stencil applications are thicker and they take, depending on the temperature, 2 to 3 hours to dry. I'm going to put that aside. Hopefully not on anything that's drying already. Linda tried a technique where she just smeared some raspberry, this guy here, paste, thickish, not really thick, but medium, thick, not as thick as you put peanut butter on your sandwich, but halfway there probably. Onto her paper, let it dry, took about 2.5 hours, and then she die cut it. So the letters are on white paper with the raspberry color, and then this die's from Spellbinders. It has a little shadow, so she did just regular purple cardstock behind. So that
it does die cut.
It does die cut, provided you don't go crazy with your thickness. So this is the Fantasy with wild honey distress ink underneath. This is raspberry fizz. No, just raspberry, not raspberry fizz. Centers. This is also raspberry. So you could totally make a card just like that. Super easy. With this shimmeriness, you kind of want that to be the star of the show, in my opinion. I'm going to show you a couple other combos, and then I'll show you a final technique. But there it is there. So that is Wild Honey Fantasy on top, Wild Honey Distress, Fantasy on top, raspberry for the centers. And again, everything I used was the Lawn Fawn Daisy Blooms stencils, and there's 3 of them. This one here was honeycomb flowers, and then purple fizz for our centers. So this looks pretty, let's just say, potent in the jar. It's not, to me, it tones down quite a bit on white paper. But that is honeycomb and purple fizz. And speaking of purple fizz, here's purple fizz on black. The centers are, I believe, lemon fizz. I just did a whole fizz thing on this one. So this is purple fizz, just this guy here. And the lemon fizz is the centers, and they turned out quite goldy. So they do change color a little bit on dark paper, but they totally show up really, really nicely. So, and this is just regular paper. This guy's a bit curly, but I'm sure I can, get it straightened out. It was drying when I left work yesterday. So those are just 3 quick samples of the different colors on different papers, different colored pastes, the Dazzle Paste, as I say. This one is Lemon Fizz, Purple Fizz. This is Purple Fizz and Honeycomb. This is Distress, Wild Honey, just regular Distress, Fantasy, and this is Raspberry in the middle. And the letters here are raspberry as well. They would go on any card, I think. So there's that. And then, last but not least, there's a really cool technique where you use an embossing folder and 2 colors. You could probably use more, I guess. 2 colors of paste inside your embossing folder. So this one was, I think it was honeycomb and seafoam. So we did seafoam first and then honeycomb. And I'll show you. So I'll just show you a few little tricks here. So I did 2 last night. That's what it looks like in the folder. We did this at about 6:30 last night. It was very quick to do. However, it is still wet, so I can't get it out. So this piece down here, I was much thinner with my paste. This was much thicker, and this is not quite dry yet, so I can't pull it out. So I only got kind of, I'm calling these skins. I don't know if they really are, but this you could use on a card. Maybe not that one because it's got a barcode, but you could use this. I was thinking far too much. I think you could use this on a candle or a vase because it curls. Like you could totally wrap this around a piece and glue it, and then you'd have a really cool kind of look.
A jar, maybe.
Yeah, a jar. But so this, we did this at about 6:30 last night. So that's more than 12 hours, and it is still wet. So I can't get it out, but kind of get the gist of what it's going to look like. And that's the first half. That's the dried half. But very, very cool. If it is wet, it will rip. So just, if you think it's wet, just stop. This one here I did. This is also wet. This is that thistle folder from the Year in Bloom. It is also wet. I was going to pull this one out, but it is still very wet. So I may show these tomorrow in the video if they're dry. So if you're doing this technique, I'm going to show you how to do it. I would strongly recommend you give it 24 hours to dry. Our house is coolish, but it's not that cold. So, and you know, it's kind of summery. So you would think that it would have dried by now. So I'm a bit surprised about that, but that's just my little tip. 12 hours overnight does not cut it. So here is another Lisa Horton folder from the Year in Bloom set. This is the peonies. You're going to find, this will work on any folder, but this is the ones I'm using. You're going to find the side with the dips. So you want the side with the dip. The recessed, Linda says. I say dips.
Yeah.
And there it is there. You lay it down on your work surface. You grab a couple of colors of paste. I'm going to do raspberry and lemon fizz. I'm going to do raspberry first, and I don't think I've left this damn foil on. Hate the foil. I'm just going to peel this off because it's just too annoying. That's my other tip for the day. Just get rid of the foil. It's a pain in the behind. I'll get rid of the rest later. But here's our paste. I'm going to scoop up a goop. There's a really great flour. Hang on, I'm going to... Nope. Oh, I don't have any more black paper. Okay, never mind. Oh, Linda's got black paper. That should show our flour better. A little better. So I've got my raspberry. I'm going to just smear it onto my folder. The first layer of paste you want fairly thin. But you hear that lovely scratching sound, Tanya? So you want it fairly thin. If you have any extra, pop it back into your bottle. Wipe off your stencil palette knife. Close up the bottle that is open because you don't want to stick your hand in it. Yes, definitely. You could use your fingers. I have a thing, I don't like to get my fingers dirty. It's just one of my weird hang-ups. I mean, not weird, perfectly normal. So, lemon fizz. It still has the damn foil on.
Yes.
Okay. And I'm going to scoop some up. And this time you want pretty thick. because if it's really thin, it's not going to peel very well. And probably don't want to put pink back into your yellow. So this is peanut butter sandwich kind of thickness, hence the long drying time. Okay, so I think I did get a little in my, and it doesn't need to be perfectly smooth on your folder. And now, I'm just going to wipe my palette knife off, because you don't want to put that back in the jar unless you want to make a custom color. Oh, another cool thing that I heard about, but I didn't do, you can mix, if you've got Color Burst, if you've got Brush-Os, Dinkles, any of those little pigment powders, you can mix them in a separate jar into this to get custom colors. So there is my peony with raspberry and lemon fizz. I'm going to flip it over. Stuff's pretty thick, so, and you're going to see, you know what I'm going to do? I think I want to put pink up here. And you can see where things are. I need more pink. This up here. And they do kind of blend together. Now this is probably going to take about 24 hours to dry. So then I should have a beautiful peony skin. It's going to look approximately like that, provided I don't put anything on top of it while it's drying. So there's my video. Bit long today, sorry, but I wanted to show you just some of the cool things you can do with Dazzle Gel from Lisa Horton.
It is water-based.
It is water-based, so it cannot be washed in the washing machine. Some of them can because they're acrylic. This one cannot. It cleans up very nicely and easily with, I use scrubby soap, which is available at Crafty Capers. It's got the little scrubber right built into it, which makes it helpful.
I'm going to try painting with it.
Oh, Linda's going to try painting with it. But as I say, these just came in yesterday afternoon, so we didn't have a lot of time. And we cut our dinner short so we could, you know, play a little bit last night. So there we are. Thank you everybody so much for watching. Thank you everybody if you have placed an order or you're going to place an order. Really appreciate that. If you order quite a few, you will get that free gift. And I think I might have found a couple more free gifts. So, you know, it won't be a die, but you'll still probably get a free gift. So thanks everybody for watching. Don't forget, video tomorrow at 9:30. It won't be a demo, but it will be lots of fun. Thanks so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Bye, guys.